Welcome everyone to this new year. This is the year 2024. To me, it's a year to thrive 2024. And there's no other person that can open this year on this podcast than this amazing personality that I'm bringing to you. Welcome to Leadership, Advancement Mentorship Podcast with your host, Dr. Michael Koku. And I want to say thank you for you all. And through last year, 2023, this podcast started February last year, 2023. And thank you for your subscription. And if you are yet to subscribe, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, so that we can bring you great speakers, great leaders, and more content this new year, 2024. And with me today is my host, Dr. Kandy Windom. Listen, I've been looking forward to getting this lioness. Last week, I brought a lioness, Miss Tasha McDonald. She delivered the goods. Here comes another lioness, an elephant in the room that is going to make your day even much better. So, Dr. Kandy Windom, how are you today? Glad to have you.
Oh my God, super excited just to, for everyone who is watching right now, listening to us. I'm super excited to have Dr. Michael here because especially we have something in common is that we have the love for people and the love to impact the leadership for many, many people who need us. So I'm super excited for this section here and let's see where we go.
Wow, that's awesome. Dr. Kandy, I mean, when I look at your name, Windom, I like a wisdom. I like that was wisdom to me, And the thing is, tell us something about yourself that we all need to know. And who is Dr. Kandy Windom? Because one thing that really amazed me about you is we both are on Maxwell leadership together. We're in the mentorship and the executive program. And I just saw that post that you said in the last 11 months, you've made $1 million in your business. I'm like, my eyes popped up. I'm like, wow, this is it. I'm like, wow. I said, God, this is awesome. And I love success. When I was in medical school, when I see someone that is highly successful, I like to be a friend of that person because I believe that success leaves clues. So tell us something about yourself. Who is Dr. Kandy Windom? Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So before I actually named myself Kandy Windom, because that was from my husband who brought that last name, my name used to be Kandy Niño Ramirez. So I'm from Colombia, and basically with that name, that was suffering, that was struggle, that was lack of leadership, lack of mindset. But then when I remarried and I acquired this new name as a Kandy Windom, that's where the wisdom comes. And when everything burned, and it's placed in the Bible that when you want somebody to be successful, actually God changed their last name. Or take it there, one letter, because that is actually what is going to give you the power. And this is actually who I become. And so powerful women who even the struggles, even the challenges and the obstacles that I have been getting for the last 22 years here in the United States, I have overcome each of them. So what I do is, of course, I'm a leadership coach and a business mentor. I started my business as a leadership coach because I was like, let me help people to become a better leader. But then when I realized the system that I have to actually make the money is when I start mentoring. In the last 2 years to help people to go from 0 to 6 figure to 6 to 7 figure. And that is exactly what I do right now. And it has been an amazing journey. Of course, it's not easy, especially because I am a woman. I'm not old. Because people, when they talk about leadership, they always feel like, oh, I want this person to be tall, man, different ethnicity. But I'm sure Hispanic. I have a huge, heavy accent. And the most special thing is that I teach with music. It's something, a specialty. That's what makes me so unique from and separate myself with other leaders as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Talking about your USP, and USP is unique selling proposition. And you talk about music. I mean, that's it. Everybody gonna have a leverage, and that makes you to go beyond average. So that's what leverage does. Where, your gift is a leverage. And I'm working on my 2.0 of my book. The first edition came out 20 years ago. It's called Understanding Your Gift. So presently I'm writing the 2.0 right now. And in that and gift, I said I gift, my first edition, I wrote gift as an acronym, meaning God's investment for triumph. So we all have a divine investment for our triumph. God gave everyone, like Jeff Bezos says, and don't be proud about your gift, because it's a gift. You can be grateful for it. You got me? And I believe that music was given to you to make you to be unique among others. Like me, mine is acronym. I've been rightly, I've been rightly, and I've been rightly accused as chief acronym and specialist, and I'm guilty as charged. I'm guilty as charged, because all my books that I've written 5 books this year, is all acronyms, because I like to simplify knowledge. So, Dr. Kandy, can you tell us your leadership journey? At what point in your life did you become aware of your leadership potential? Like I said, I believe leadership is for everyone. I believe everyone has leadership potential, and there's no such thing as a born leader, and some might have that, some might have more, natural inclinations. But the fact that you are tall doesn't make you a basketball star. You need a coach to give value to your height. So the same way leadership is like a learnable skills, like driving, that you can learn, you can develop. If not, we won't be doing leadership training. So we train people to get the skills. So at what age, at what point in your life, in your leadership journey, did you become aware that, wow, I have something special as a leader? At what point did you?
Yes, it was in the year 2000, actually, when the new century just started, and I have a heart attack. I was in a hospital, and my grandfather took me to the bathroom, and I was looking myself in the mirror with all this cable, because I was just literally survived this heart attack. And I looked myself in the mirror and feel like, how did I get here? What happened to me? When did I lose myself? And that's when I was walking back to my bed, I decided to be empowered, to change my life, to see things in a beautiful way. And then when I left the hospital, because I'm from Cali, Colombia, I saw the mountains and I smelled the perfume from my mom, and I feel the breeze on the trees and the leaves. And I noticed the beauty of everything around me that I didn't see it before. And that's when I realized that I have a leadership in me, and just I didn't know it was. And that's and the first book that I read from John Maxwell was Becoming a Person of Influence.
Wow.
And that's when he actually explained leadership starts everything with you, with inside you, with the things that you do, the commitments that you have with yourself, the standards, the core values, the love, and the setting these incredible goals for myself, that when I decide that basically I had to change my standards, I have not changed it, upgraded my standards to a next level. That's when I realized that I have leadership potential. However, I was like completely 100% sure about that. When I moved from Colombia to United States, I feel like, okay, so Kandy, you gotta educate yourself, second, get your English teacher, get your education coming up, your master's, your doctorate degree, everything, because I was feeling like I didn't have enough for me. But again, when I went to the book and Becoming a Person of Influence, that was like, Kandy, if you can lead yourself every morning to get up and do your work, you are leading yourself. And
Mm.
that's exactly where everything started.
Mm.
And it was not just being working in a corporate level where I was like, oh, I'm leader because I'm leading a team. No, I'm leading
Mm.
myself for success.
Mm. Mm. So that means you started by leading yourself first. Wow, that's awesome. That's great. And that's where we all can start. Joe Maxwell talk about he was in a conference and a young guy was there at like 18-year-old and he said, I want to be a leader. Where do I start from? And Joe Maxwell said, you start by leading yourself first. A friend of mine, Shaba Wilson, said the word lead is live every day above defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it to another level. And I said, as a leader, is lead every day above defeat. ER, I put an ER to it. If you put ER to lead, you get leader. So the ER means example required. Yeah. So
Exactly.
it reminds me that I need to live every day above defeat. Example required, because I can tell people to do what I'm not doing. You got me? There's no credibility in it. Yeah. So you discovered, you became aware of that in 2000, that's 23 years ago. So can you tell us what happened to you after you mentioned reading Becoming a Person of Influence, which I really love because he used the acronym, I love acronym, influencer, to talk about what you need, the 10 things you need. And I don't want to unpack it now. That would take us to another level. Yeah. But the thing is this: I've actually did a masterclass on that. But today, what we're looking at is you became aware because awareness is the first key to change. So after you became aware of that leadership potential, that I got something. So can you tell us what price did you pay to develop it? Because it's something for you to discover something and not do nothing about it. So tell us what happened? What was the price point look like for you? What price have you paid to develop the leader within you?
Oh, we have to pay the price, right? Or you pay it, or you're wasting your time. You're always gonna pay the price for anything. And the way that I paid the price, it was literally commitment to myself to get myself better. So I remember when I finished my master's degree, one of my advisors told me, Kandy, you will never going to be able to speak to the public because your English is not perfect. It's not good. You have to work really hard. And that actually put me in a big fear moment, like a public speaking, until I decided, no, I gotta get better. So I joined the Toastmasters. I joined to different areas and I was always raising my hand. So not just because somebody told me you can do this, it means that I'm gonna be able to believe that. So that was a really hard and paid price to actually say no to my friends to go dancing because I love dancing, to say to my friends to go for a dinner, to maybe take a trip to Bahamas or to Europe, just because I need to the commitment to read the book, to write my book, to share what I want to, and to perfection in myself. No, I'm not saying that I love perfection, but it's like, what is the next thing that I can do to actually be able to become even better, right? So I had to read it. I had to go to conferences. I had to meet people. I had to be able to connect with others, and that costs money, costs time, and that was the price that I paid. But when I decided to do it, I have like a couple years that I didn't do nothing. And that when I didn't do nothing because I believe in somebody else's limiting belief about myself, that was when I didn't have really good reputation in the job that I have. I have a really, unsuccessful talent, I would say. But then when I step into my talent, that is the gift. That's where we talk about it, the gift of the talent. When you
Yeah.
feel, oh my God, I love teaching. I love coaching. I love doing this. I got to step to this because I have the voice. I can build this. That's when you feel like whatever the price it is, don't worry about it. Somebody told me, I literally, Dr. Michael, I spent over 500K
Hmm?
education.
You spend $500K to do what?
Like traveling, with Tony
So
Robbins.
just to invest in yourself, in your development?
Yes, to become
Wow.
better.
That was
So
awesome.
I traveled with Tony Robbins and I spent everything, all the programs. I joined to all the programs. I didn't even hesitate. I was like, what is next? What is next? And all the books, the seminars, education, certifications, and getting everything so I can get more knowledgeable and I have more experience. That's why right now, Dr. Michael, I can teach a class with no notes. Because I already paid, like you said, I paid the price of consistency, growing myself.
Wow, that was awesome. And John Maxwell said, and self-discipline is the price tag of leadership. And I want to make that the title of this podcast, because I believe as we enter this new year, many people need this self-discipline. And one thing I've taught several times in all year 2023 is discipline will lead to habit. Habit will lead to consistency. Consistency will lead to growth. Everything begins with self-discipline. So can you share with our audience and the people that will be listening to you, what is your own take about self-discipline? How have you been able to discipline yourself to come up with this, with this kind of new, with your level of growth? I tell you, listen, Dr. Kandy Windom, your level of growth has been so contagious. That's why I'm having you here today. I mean, when you share that information, and I know funny, you're not sharing it to show off, you're sharing it to help someone like me. And I know a lot of people really responded to that post. I know you will have had so many calls, from north, east, west, and south, and all that. But something led to that. See, when people see results, this is the mistake that they did. Some people thought maybe that she was just lucky. Well, okay, it's not luck, it's work. It's work. So
Yes.
what led to that? Can you tell us what, if someone is watching you now, that someone that's been so lazy that they just like not disciplined, how can someone develop that level of self-discipline? Because like I said, discipline leads to habit, habits leads to consistency, and consistency will lead to growth. So how can someone become self-disciplined? How can one build that self-discipline? Can you just tell us?
Yeah, I love that question. The first thing that you must do, and this is not just for the people who are listening or watching us, this is for the whole imaginary energy that is listening to us too, is that you must be congruent with yourself. Congruency is the key of success. And that goes through the next step of self-discipline. So when you're congruent, what it means congruent is that your passion, your talent, and your purpose are in completely 100% in alignment. Because when that is in alignment,
so your passion, your purpose,
your passion, your talent, and
your purpose
are in alignment. Because you probably love to do something, but probably that's not the talent that you have. You have to develop the talent, right? Maybe you find the purpose, but you still not believe and have passion for it. So you always have to have that in alignment to have self-discipline. Because that moment is when you feel like, oh my God, now I'm gonna get up right now and do whatever it takes because I'm 100% in alignment to what I really want. Because what people stop and being self-disciplined is because they don't have that alignment. They lack a purpose. The talent that they have not found it. And they haven't been able to say, oh my God, this is my strength. This is actually what I do good. And the other part is that you feel like, oh my God, this is not, I'm completely lost, right? So what is the first thing to have self-discipline is to have congruency with yourself, having an alignment. And when you have that alignment in yourself, it has to be from your heart.
Wow.
Because that, when you step into your heart, it's like no matter what time it is, you're going to be committed to do it no matter what.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. I like that congruency that you talk about. And so, what would be your advice for someone that really wants to give this a shot for the first time? I know whenever you want to do something new, you always experience a pushback from your old habit because the old habit doesn't want to die. He want to hang around, and it takes 63 days to form a new habit. So what will be your and how can you really use your own personal experience because you've been through this as a process. James Clear said, and having a goal help you to win once, but having a system help you to win repeatedly. And to me, I believe system is, save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what the acronym for system. So what system have you really used? I know you talk about this congruency, but how did you really, put this into practical application?
Yes, so in Think and Grow Rich, there is a part where they talk about decisions.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision. It's a decision to go for whatever you want to do, but also it's a decision to take action even if that it scares you. And I remember 2 years ago when I was hosting my first ever boot camp virtually, and I only have 2 clients in that particular program. And how I'm gonna do a business boot camp for 2 days for 2 people, I was as scared like you don't have no idea. I was afraid not even the 2 clients that I have will be able to join to my business virtual program, for the 2 days immersion days. So I was like, what can I do? I just took action and I invite as many people in there. And I actually have 22 people in my first virtual business boot camp. But at first, what happened in that is that I took a decision that I was going to do it and I block it in my calendar. I invite and I commit myself to every single day invite 5, 10 people to my event. Hey, do you want to be my guest? Hey, do you want to be my guest? Because literally when God, and that's actually in the leadership book that John Maxwell wrote, is that when you are 100% committed to your mission, you take that decision, all the blessings will show up. All the blessings. And then when I make the first commitment to actually block it in my calendar, I'm going to host it no matter what. I'm not afraid, even if only one person show up for the 2 days, I'm going to do it no matter what. I have a full room for the 2 days. And that's when my first time that I make 6 figures in just 2 days.
Wow.
So you see the gift or like making a decision, commitment to yourself, and do it even if that scares you. And that's why we call it leading by faith.
Wow, that's awesome. There's so much to get from you, Dr. Kandy. So tell us what has been the effect of mentorship in your own effectiveness as a leader. What has been the place of mentorship, and what role has it played in you becoming the effective leader that you are today?
For the mentorship, you're talking about the mentorship?
No. I'm not just talking about Maxwell mentorship. I'm talking about what role as your mentor can be. I mean, anyone. I mean, I know you're from Maxwell leadership, but mentorship. I've seen a lot of people that they're mentored Maxwell leadership. They've been mentored before they joined the Maxwell leadership. So, what role as mentorship? I mean, or who are the mentors that you look up to? Who are the people? Who are the mentors that have helped you in your journey? Because I believe there's no self-made man or women. So, who has been the mentor that has really helped you to shape your leadership and to be the good role model for you? So, what role, what impact has that made for? So, who are those?
Yes, so this is very important because many people they look for coaches, right? Hey, I want a coach so can help me for this, a coach for them for this. But the key word is mentor. because a mentor is actually going to show you a step-by-step in how to get what you want, right? And there are multiple mentors in this area. So I have multiple mentors that show me like how to do a best presenter, how to be kind of better communicator, how to actually have a business model that works with my talents. It's not like, hey, you got to do this because this is what I do. It's like, okay, let's find out your talents and how my business model can be fed into you, and we can do an upgraded on what the talents that you have. So yes, of course, I had Damon John from Shark Tank who actually mentored me, and he still mentor me. We had John Maxwell team that has been really incredible mentorship just to give me some ideas on what to do. I have a mentor that is an NLP trainer and certification in Australia, that he has been increasing my mindset, the awareness of the way that I think. So that actually showed me a different way so I can act in a different way. And another mentor who actually showed me, okay, this is my signature system, how you can develop yours. And that's part of mentorship. It actually saves you time, money, and anything that you maybe want.
Wow.
And that's exactly what I do with my clients as a mentor. I show them the way. They say, hey, you want to do this? This is what I do. This is what I do. Go and execute it. Wow. And they get like, because we are, just to be honest, Dr. Michael, we are all loaded with information. But we are not loaded with steps. And that's what I do. And that's what I learned from the mentors that I have right now. Is like, I don't want to load my clients with information. I want to load them with step actions that they have to do every single day to move forward with the business that they want to.
Wow. That was very, very important. And you're right, because we're in the days that there's so much information out there. But people, I mean, I know people have come to me personally. They've reached out to me that I've mentored. I do one-on-one mentoring. In fact, before I get on this podcast, I was talking to a former colleague of mine, so we were talking about our next steps on how to do the one-on-one mentoring, because I found that, a lot of people, they invest in big program, pay big money. They have all the information, but what they don't have, like you said, is the steps. Okay, what's my next step? What do I do now? And when they have that clarity about this is my next steps, this is what you do first before you do second, and that's what I help them to do, because when you get so much information, it's hard to process. But when you have a mentor come by your side, the mentor begins to show you, and this is what you do first, then after this, you can do this. It makes your life easy. And then, so what's the greatest lesson you have ever learned in your life?
Oh, the greatest lesson is that I have to let go my pride.
That you have to?
I have to let go my pride if I want to be successful. Because sometimes you can get into I know this. Oh, she doesn't have nothing to tell me. He doesn't have nothing to tell me to do. This is going to work. And then when you realize it's like 1, 2, 3 years, you don't have money in your account, it's because pride was holding me back to ask for help. So that was one of the biggest things. Even if it's the simplest question, I go and ask the question, hey, how I can find this? I have struggled about this, and I see this, and I ask questions, even the simplest questions. So one of the biggest things, and I can tell you right now, is when you let go of pride, is when your business will take off in 2020.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, because humility is very vital in leadership. Wow, thanks for sharing that, because this is a year to thrive, but you can thrive with pride. Pride will sink your ship, and you need to just be humble so that you won't fumble. And last question for today. Yeah. What is the greatest advice that you have ever received? Greatest leadership advice you have ever received? And who gave it to you?
Who gave it to me? Oh my God. This comes from my mom. My mom told me that I am here for greatness, that I have to, and I didn't see that greatness. Honestly, when she shared that with me a long time ago, I didn't see it. But and then after that, she she always like tell me like, Kandy, you have so much greatness. Go for it. Go and teach. But I didn't know. I became a Zumba instructor. I was teaching people a career coaching. I was doing a lot of teaching, but I was not literally doing what I really am good at, right? So when she told me, Kandy, just focus in one thing at a time. Master it. Become the best of that. Because average is not success. But when you become the master of something, people will listen. So that's exactly what she told me. You have so much greatness, go for it.
Wow, that's awesome. Dr. Kandy, it's been a joy to have you. I guarantee you, we're gonna bring you back. There are few guests that hand that degree of BHB. BHB means bring her back. So you just earned a BHB. So from this leadership advancement podcast, we're going to bring you back later in this year, 2024, because you have so much to offer your world. And I really appreciate your humility, your sense of simplicity, and to get the word out. So how can people find you? People are looking at this beautiful lady. I said, how can they? I know how to find you, but how can they find you? Tell them how they can.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram as a Kandy Windom. I reply to all the messages, trust me. And if I do not have because I'm doing this on teaching or training or coaching, my team will reply because I have 24/7 service. So you always will be able to reach out to me if you have any questions. Especially I have a bootcamp that is going to be hosted in January 12th and 13th. So if you want more information about it, I would like to have you as my guest if you're here in Florida. So if you are ready to rock it up in your business and your leadership, especially, come on, talk to me and I will show you the way.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great one. So please, Dr. Kandy, we're going to put that information on this podcast so that people can have that. So the bootcamp information is going to be on this podcast. So check out this information note on the podcast. You will get the Dr. Kandy's bootcamp and see how that will have a great value to your life. Dr. Kandy, you've been so phenomenal. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Viewers, you see what I talk about. This has been great for me. I was taking notes. I was learning a lot. I've gained a lot of pounds of wisdom. Listening to Dr. Kandy Windom has been a great time for me. So till we come your way next week with another dynamic and practitioner, and we don't bring philosopher to this podcast. I want you to take everything Dr. Kandy has said. Make sure you practice, because there is no transformation without application. This is your host, Dr. Michael Koku, signing off and tell you that don't forget to apply what you just learned. Thank you. Bye-bye.